Alrighty, so let's talk about the three-dimensional graphs of the Nate Croney steady shot. So one of the previous videos, we looked at each of the X, the Y, and the Z graphs and how we're looking at acceleration, and it may be a little bit different to what you're expecting. So that's why we've got the 3D graph. It's a little bit more intuitive, and we're doing some really cool things with the graph, how we present data that's going to hopefully be a lot easier to follow. It's also going to be one of the main areas that we're going to really push development to get a lot more data on that graph, clean it up, things like exports, previous shots, etc. So this is very much an initial release of the 3D steady shot graph, and it's going to change over time. So the 3D steady shot graph, what we've done is we've tried to convert it more into motion by extending the Z-axis. So if you're doing a hold and you're doing movement in the position you're shooting, it's going to look like the actual motion of what the muzzle is doing. If you're doing different things like vertical changes, things like that, it's going to look a little bit awkward, but in terms of hold positions, it's going to be a really good source of data. So what it actually does is, as I said, it extends the time over the Z-axis and looks more at movement, and it actually overlays the acceleration data onto that movement data through colors. So what we're going to have a shot at now is we're going to hold it in the position we're going to fire it, and we're just going to move it around basically in a circular motion like that to see what that looks like. So I'm going to go nice and smooth around. So let's have a look on the three-dimensional graph, what that actually shows us. Alrighty, so this is that three-dimensional graph. And as you can see, there's that circular motion as we were going around. Now, what we've done is you can see some parts of the line are gray, some parts of the line are red. That's looking at the acceleration component of that movement. So if we click left to right, we can see of our left to right acceleration, whereabouts on that movement were we smooth and rough. So left to right, we were quite smooth coming around at the top. At the bottom is when we're a little bit quick, a little bit jerky. If we look at the up and down component of our acceleration, again, we could see at the top and bottom of that motion, we weren't moving up and down, so that was really low. It's at the midpoints of that particular movement when we're coming down and up. That's when the acceleration was the greatest. We're accelerating and decelerating the most when at the side points of that circular motion. If we click on all minimum, that is at which points of that movement were all X, Y, and Z axes at their minimum accelerations. We're looking at the sort of bottom 50 percentile of the motion. So where was that low motion on simultaneously on all axes? We could see that it was the top of that particular motion. If we click on any max, on any of the axes throughout that movement, where was their maximum acceleration? So maximum acceleration, the top 10 percentile of X or Y or Z movement. So at any part of the movement, where were we rough? And we can see that here, again, looking at the side points of that acceleration, a little bit at the bottom and also at the top there as well. So that's overlaying, basically fusing the data, the acceleration data via colors on top of the movement data of the muzzle there. So that's a 3D graph, how it works, how you can start to look at movement. Again, it really only works when you're holding it in the position that it's going to be shot in. We're going to work on that and add a lot more data and a lot more features over time as well. Any questions, any queries, let us know. Enjoy your training.